That's our job as nerds, is turning our significant others into nerds also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we
And
strive.
it's worked.
They should put that in vows. Deb do us part
Yeah.
and increase in nerdom.
Well, I had it in the fine print for mine.
Yeah, there you go. Then Sheree signed it, so there's no give me backs.
There was no turning back. Insert evil laughter.
Now, do you do this on like a per year rise basis? Like, by year 3, you need your nerdum to be increased by at least 15%.
Escalators.
And it's like, sorry, Jen, you're not hitting your quota of nerdum. You need to.
Yeah, we need some rededication here. We got to replan the game plan. Come on, let's get it.
But you know that the indoctrination is working by how many bookshelves there are of comic books and how many cases there are of statues.
The more that the statues and the boxes grow, the Funko Pop.
Yeah,
that's how you know the nerd's growing.
Exactly. I mean, you see behind me. This is my office.
Yeah, exactly.
It's our office, but it's clearly my office.
My wall space has slowly increased.
I've been noticing that, man. It's slowly growing.
Yeah.
It's growing like a virus, like COVID. Yeah. So, all right, guys, welcome to a Nas bonus content episode. In this week's episode, it's going to be a hit it or quit it on the hit series, maybe on the new series, Blockbuster. Yeah. I'm your host, Daniel de Sangre.
Jose Ramos.
And Jorge Marrero.
There you go. Jorge. Yes. So, overall, guys, so just to give you a quick recap on what hit it or quit it is, it's us previewing the first 3 episodes of a new series, and we're going to talk about it, describe what we liked, what we didn't like, what worked, what didn't, and more importantly, are we going to hit that next episode, or are we going to quit the show entirely? So, Jose, why is it typically 3 episodes that we look at?
Well, I feel 3 episodes is a good parameter. Usually you don't want to go off the first episode because pilots can either be really good, because that's what usually they use to sell a series, so they can blow their load just in the first episode. It also is not a parameter because it can go the other way around, where sometimes it might take a couple episodes for a show to find its groove and find its voice, because I've seen shows where the first episode is just terrible, but it grows from there. So I think we decided 3 is a good parameter. In a show like this one we're seeing right now, Blockbuster, that's 30% of the first season. So if by then we don't have a clear idea, then what are we doing?
George, what kind of drew you towards Blockbuster? Why did you decide on this show for us?
Oh, wait, are we saying that I chose this show for us? Is that what we're saying?
Oh, you're getting the full blame on this one, sir.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to watch this show.
All right, George, why did you agree to watching this show?
I agreed for 2 reasons. 1, because I love you guys.
Yeah.
And 2, because it's like it would be remiss to have a movie podcast that doesn't talk about a TV show about a place that gave you movies. Like Blockbuster was our sanctuary. It was our everything. You know, I'm pretty sure, I think me and Jose may have gone to a couple of Blockbusters as they were going out of business and got some extra DVDs. You know, it's like that was our spot. Yeah.
Yes. And here's the ironic part about this is that it's being streamed on Netflix, which is the company that destroyed Blockbuster. That's what's crazy about it. They had the opportunity to buy out Netflix and they didn't. And then Netflix grew, became what it was, and it took them out of business. So,
and they reference it in the show.
I feel like this is the equivalent of, we had the whole 50 Cent and like Ja Rule rivalry for many years. And then then 50 Cent went and bought Ja Rule's catalog. This is like on Netflix. Like, not only did we crush you, but we're going to make a show about you. I do think we should give the audience just at least an overview of kind of like the show before we actually get into it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So it was created by Vanessa Ramos, Latina.
Hey,
you're a family member?
Yes.
Yeah, just distant cousin of my sister's third cousin. But she's contributed to other shows that were successful, such as Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Superstore was another one, Kenan, which I never saw an episode of, so I don't even know if that was good. So she's in there. There's like 8 different writers for these like 10 episodes. And then just some of the notable names that are cast in here. We've got Randall Park, who we've seen everywhere, fresh out the boat. We've seen them in the MCU, usually does pretty good in his roles. We have Melissa Fomero, well known for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We have JB Smoove, who's been around for a long time. Yeah, Curb Your Enthusiasm. He was a big part of that towards the later seasons, I believe, right?
Yeah, he came in around the midpoint, and I felt like once they introduced him, it completely revitalized the show again, and he was needed.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then just because, even though they're not as well known, we got to mention the Latinos. So we have Olga Merendez. She did some Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and she was also in Encanto. She was the voice of the abuela.
Oh, nice.
And then Tyler Alvarez. The only thing I recognized from his was, I don't know if you guys remember American Vandal.
Yeah, I remember watching
yeah.
that. That's
He
the
was
only
in
thing that he seemed familiar from was that.
Yeah, exactly. And then the blonde girl in there, her name's Madeline Arthur. I just recently saw her in something called The Devil in Ohio, and she was creepy as hell in that. So it was weird seeing her in this type of role. But yeah, no, and basically for the audience members, the plotline of this is all the blockbusters have now closed. So and then you have the last blockbuster left is ran by Randall Park's character, Timmy, and he's doing everything he can to try to keep it alive without the support of corporate. That's the general gist of this show.
Let's get into it, guys. What worked? George, let's start off with you.
Okay. So
without revealing what our verdict is, what worked, George? Let's go.
I think one of the things I can say that worked about the show is that, because Jose, you brought the fact that this is the last blockbuster. It's actually based off of the fact that there was a one surviving blockbuster before the pandemic hit, and Netflix had done a docuseries about it. And so this is kind of loosely based on that location. If you saw that,
Oregon, right?
I think so. Yeah, it was very middle America.
Bend, Oregon, or something like that.
And this one's based in Michigan, so you're still getting that middle America kind of feel. The people who ran that original shop were all Caucasian people. In this is they're making sure to hit their checkpoints. It's like, all right, one Asian, we got some Spanish, we got some blacks, we got some people of this sexual orientation. Everything is hitting the checklist.
A show can't exist anymore without the
checklist. Yeah. Like I don't think there was any white male characters, like main characters. There was one-offs that came off every episode, but a main character, there's no white male characters at all.
Correct. Yeah.
And but the positive thing is the fact that I never felt that there was a preachy agenda. Every time you have the checklist, it's like, all right, they hit the checklist. What's going to happen? What's the storyline? What moral do I have to follow? But that never happened. They really tried to rely on, like, no, this is Blockbuster trying to survive. This is him and his people and their relationships. That's it. So I like the fact that I wasn't given this other thing that I had to like worry about. It's like, oh no, okay, how are they gonna get out of this situation? But that's probably the only positive that I found for me.
Yeah. Okay. How about you, Jose?
Well, first I want to say I do agree with George, and that's something that's a problem that a lot of shows fall into, where it's like they hit that checklist and then they have to overly emphasize that checklist. This show didn't do that. This is just who these people were. That was part of their lives. It wasn't what defined them. That's just who they were. And this show did a good job about that without overemphasizing. So I do agree with that. The diverse cast is a strong suit for this show. I mean, I feel the chemistry between the two leads was good when they were actually interacting with each other, with like Randall Park's character and Melissa Fumero's character, Timmy and Eliza. When they had their one-to-one scenes, the way they interact with each other, it was believable. Like, okay, these two, may have something for each other and things like that. So I felt that was a strength. I guess the other strength is that some of these actors are charismatic enough to soften the blow of some of the dialogue and writing issues that I feel if it was delivered by less charismatic actors, this show would be almost unwatchable. But the charisma that some of these characters have sugarcoats some of the lines that if not, you would be like, I need to shut this off. But it'd be like, oh, okay, you made it a little bit better. So that's what I feel it works. It's the diverse cast and the performances of some of the actors in spite of what they're given.
I think overall with the show, I think the best thing that worked with this was the concept, right? When you first hear the concept of the last Blockbuster and you see Randall Park that's casted in it, I was already kind of sold. Like, I'm definitely going to check this out. It's a very interesting concept. When you say it to other people and you're trying to explain them what the show's about, most people kind of chuckle and be like, that sounds pretty good. Like, it's worth kind of checking out. Randall Park's good. JB Smoove is good. They casted some good actors for these roles. So the casting was pretty good from the top, at least on the top level. They did very good setting up a good promise for this show. That's what worked very well. The marketing worked very well on me because it gives us that nostalgic feeling of going and shopping at a Blockbuster. And knowing that the movie and that the characters are going to be referencing a lot of movie references, one would hope that it would be incorporated very organically and feel very real. So it worked with my preconceived notions going into the show. That's what worked. So great. Now that we did that, who wants to start us off with what didn't work?
Got a little bit of a list here.
Started off with lube. I'll say, don't go in too raw.
All right. Let's just smooth it in first. All right.
Let's just JB Smooth it.
Yeah.
JB Smooth it.
All right. Let's just start with some of the soundtrack, music selection. Sometimes when you're transitioning between scenes or there's little moments, the music just felt really off. It felt very soap opera-y. How they present the music in the background, especially during the times where they tried to get serious. So that's one of the things that definitely didn't work. A few scenes where it was like, this is supposed to be real or serious. It kind of threw me out because I was like, what the hell music is that in the background? So that was one thing. Another thing is, while I did enjoy, while I felt that the chemistry between Timmy and Eliza worked well, they right off the bat they went into the will they won't they like trope, like right off, wasting no time, and we didn't even have a chance yet to really connect with these characters to care whether they end up together or not, and they literally went right into it. So that was the other thing. One of the big things is in the first 3 episodes I saw absolutely nothing that didn't feel been there, done that numerous times. Besides the initial concept that you already know going in, there was absolutely nothing fresh. Pretty much every storyline, every point that was hit has been done a ton of times across many shows. So I just felt like I was watching a recap of other shows in a different setting. And then, worst of all, the writing, the dialogue. It is so cheesy sometimes with the lines. The jokes feel so forced a lot of the time, which is disappointing because I know like Vanessa Ramos, how I mentioned, she was involved in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She even wrote some episodes, I believe, for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And I love that show. And I felt the jokes there felt organic and they hit more than they missed. And this is like the complete opposite. You know, I can probably count the first 3 episodes. I probably chuckled a few times, maybe like 4 or 5 times, maybe a handful. Laughed maybe once in the first 3 episodes. I still haven't decided if I was laughing at it or with it, but I still laughed once.
What was the part though? What was the part?
I don't even remember. That's how unmemorable it is.
Okay.
It was someone said a line that it was a pop culture dig at something, and I kind of laughed. I was like, oh, okay, that was a good one. But besides that, the biggest problem in this is not the cast, it's the material, the dialogue, the jokes presented, the not presenting something fresh. That is everything that doesn't work for me.
I'm surprised you said you laughed. Because I want to, like we said, we'd only do 3 episodes, and I did do only 3 episodes at first, but then my Amazon account didn't want to work, so I couldn't watch the show I wanted to watch, and so I was like, I'll just leave this going on, I guess, in the background while I continue working on some art, and I saw all 10 episodes.
Oh my God. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Oh,
And
man.
I didn't smile once. Never mind not laughing. I didn't even crack a smile. I was deadpan the whole time, just like in awe that not one funny thing happened. Like I couldn't believe it. And it's true what you're saying, Jose, the fact that like the dialogue it's horrendous. It's so bad. For me, I felt there was moments where I could hear the actors. Like I watched like Melissa's face as she said certain lines where she looked like she was disgusted that she said what she said. Like I wish I maybe took down some lines just to give
No,
examples, but
I
it did look
actually
like they were
got one,
uncomfortable.
George.
Okay,
I don't mean
what
to
was
interrupt you because this line made me cringe so bad that I paused it when this line happened and I
Was it the
walked
cat
away.
meme?
I grabbed a snack.
Was it the cat
was
meme?
no, it was
Okay.
when Timmy he decides that he's gonna engage in this prank war. I
the
won't
prank
say
war? Okay,
I
yeah,
won't say anymore to
Oh.
not overly spoil the stuff.
yeah. Don't
And
spoil this great show on the
yeah,
people.
he says the line, "Hey, I know how to save the life because I am the Fray."
Yeah,
And I was like, well, that makes no sense at all. How does that even fit in? Who talks that way? That was the thing. There was so many
what made it worse
moments
is he
where it was like,
explains the joke. He
yeah,
explains the joke
yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh
So
man,
it's like
Yeah.
they knew it wasn't a funny joke. Like people aren't
No.
gonna get this. Let's explain it to them.
And here's the crazy part. It's like we're film heads. We love it. You're centered around movies. So they're even making movie jokes, but it very felt like people that wrote these never actually watched these movies and like aren't even film people. They just randomly Googled films and just plug them into random jokes. That's what it felt like.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I I was expecting and hoping. You remember how Community would
Yeah.
have the paintball
The
gunfight
paintball. Yep.
episode,
Yep.
and they would emulate something like a
Mm-hmm.
Western or like Star Wars or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't copy it, but they
Mm.
emulated that feel of what
Yeah.
it was like in that movie. I was hoping there'd be at least one episode where like the filmmaker kid is gonna like try to do something like that within the blockbuster. You
Yeah.
know, I thought one episode would give you like, all right, we're gonna reference this movie in some
Mm-hmm.
facet, even if this was like shot in a certain way, like change the camera setup and
Yeah.
how it's done, just to give you the idea of a Tarantino moment. They
Yeah.
reference Tarantino, a guy who worked at a video store.
Yep.
That would be a great opportunity. I'd rather watch that show. I'd rather watch the show of Tarantino working at a video store and
Oh
him
yeah.
becoming who he is.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the show that needs to be
Absolutely.
made.
Yeah. I
There you
would.
go. There's your pitch.
Yeah.
Netflix. Come
So
on.
so this guy mentions about how he's a huge, Tarantino fan, right? That's why he's working at Blockbuster. But even his movie references and everything he mentioned, it didn't seem like he had a huge wealth of knowledge when it came to movies. So they set up these characters. I guess the biggest thing that didn't work for me is that they casted really good actors, but didn't know how to write for them at all, which is very crazy because even when you mentioned Vanessa Ramos working with Melissa, how does she not know how to write for her when she did it for so many years? JB Smoove, I think the dude's hilarious, and I haven't personally seen a project that he just bombed at. He bombed in this show.
Yeah.
It wasn't his performance, just the material that they gave him. Randall Park is hilarious. I didn't see any of that. The prank episode, it's such a perfect setup, and it was just, what am I watching? Little kids putting their nipples on the window. Like, this is stupid. It was just, oh my God, I could not pull anything. It was a stretch, man. Yeah, it was a lot that just didn't work for me on this.
No, it was the how this what works section was hard
That's
to
tough.
do it.
It was tough.
But going back to the kid, you mentioned the point. His references to movies and all that does not seem on par with what he strives for.
Yeah.
But then also the video, the creation that he does with it, which they show us in the corner, I was like, maybe you should choose another career. I don't know.
Yeah.
And why would this go so viral in there? So it's like either don't show it to us and let our own imagination do it, or show us a better project that'll be like, okay, this guy really has potential. All he did was just record what was there and then added a few sound effects.
He made a TikTok. That's what he did.
Yeah.
He made a TikTok.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Which,
Okay.
you know, you bring up that, Jose, the idea, the fact they didn't show enough. And I noticed there was a part, and this was probably later on in the series at this point, but they made a dick joke at one point. I don't know if you guys got to see that. They're like, Melissa's character is getting drunk because she's upset for, I think, something with her husband. And so Randall's character kind of helps her through the day, and they have a day out. I think it's like he called it like a day for the boy or something like that, or a boy's day. And so they're playing with the claw machine and they get a prize. And it's like, oh, look, it's a ducky with a dick. Oh, but we don't see it. They just say it's a ducky with a dick. And I was like, come on, you're on Netflix. Show a ducky with a dick on it.
Yeah.
Like, this is a situation where I don't want to imagine it. All right. With like, if it's a scary movie, yeah, let me use my imagination. But in a comedy, I want to see the duck with a huge dildo coming out of it. And why is this there?
This was the defining moment for George, where he said, "That's it. I'm off the show. There's no
It's
duck with
over.
a dick." You fucking
like,
lost me.
Remember, like in the movie The Neighbors, right? Neighbors or Neighborhood, but with like the dildo fight with Seth Rogen and
Neighbors, yeah.
Neighbors, right? Remember that huge
Bad
dildo fight?
Neighbors?
Yeah, that was funny.
It was just Neighbors. I think it was just Neighbors. But
Okay.
that was a funny scene. Now imagine just hearing about the scene.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I want to see him hit him in the face with a dildo. No.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like there could have been a funny moment of like grabbing the thing out and like you see it and maybe the thing like thumps against the glass window.
Yeah.
The thump would have been funny. You know? Look at that right now. Jose fucking just lost his shit.
I just picture the thump and then the sound of like as
Yeah.
it's going down the glass.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and then the bartender comes out. It's like, I was wondering where that was. You know?
Yeah. Okay. So Jose, you have to give me what's one standout character that you saw in this. Give me a standout.
Man, I guess I would choose, just because compared to everyone else, she speaks less, so that's less bad lines that she's saying. I would have to give it to Madeline Otter's character. I forget what's her name. Hannah.
She's the dumb one, right?
Yes, I would have to give it to her because she speaks less than everyone else, so that's less bad lines that she's putting out there.
By default. Got it. Okay. Fair enough. All right, George.
I think for me it's gonna be the older Latin lady. I didn't bother to remember anyone's names. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah.
But I actually felt like of all of them, if there was someone for me to like, it'd probably be her. You know, she was supposed to be a likable character. She's supposed to be that this caring and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She had little moments where it's like, I guess I kind of like you.
Okay.
But that's I had to really like. I'm reaching for something. The ones I wanted to like was Randall Park. I wanted to like him. You know.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've seen something with Randall Park and didn't enjoy it. This is the first time. I feel disappointed.
Yeah, it's like how was he more entertaining as a 2-second character in Ant-Man? And then we get this.
Yeah, seriously.
Same character. You think about it, it's kind of the same guy.
Yeah.
You know, there wasn't much of a difference, just better lines.
Yeah, better lines, more charisma, I guess.
Yeah.
And this one, maybe that's what it is, because Randall Parks works so well as this kind of cockiness, even if it's dumb cocky, that's where it's right in his wheelhouse, and it's hilarious because he plays off of that well. His character in Blockbuster was not that. He was very sniveling. It was very not having confidence at all. And maybe that's where it kind of was. Maybe it was the direction. I don't know. So if I had to pick a standout character, even though, as we mentioned, nobody really stood out, I guess I'd have to go JB Smooth's character, just because I like JB Smooth so well. So even if sometimes he delivers something a little slightly funny, that's it. But him owning a party store next door, it just doesn't seem relevant. Like it didn't. I don't understand why. A lot of the things they did for the show, just why? Why did you do that? You know what I mean? Like they didn't set things up properly. So I guess JB Smoove, just because his non-acting performance is funny to me, even if we didn't see a lot of it. At least it's something. I mean, he had some kind of physical comedy. None of the other people had any kind of physical comedy at all, which is crazy because Randall Park is really good at that. So, yeah. All right, guys, let's get to it. Hit it or quit it. So, are you going to hit that next play button on the next episode? In your case, George, season 2? Or are you going to quit that? Or are you going to return that movie back and return your Blockbuster membership? What do you guys do?
I'm
writing a letter. I wrote a letter to Netflix so that they can make sure that never pops up in my queue ever again.
Okay.
I care in this situation.
There
you go. So you're quitting it. You're quitting the show.
Quit hard. Quit hard.
So hard. Okay. All right, Jose.
Well, we're Brooklyn Nine-Nine over. My search for a quality, funny sitcom continues. I quit the shit out of this show.
Yeah. If we didn't have to do this bonus episode that we're doing, this hit or quit it, I literally would have stopped after the pilot. And I was actually kind of excited to watch this show, to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be a good one.
I wasn't. I sent you in the text message. I was like, in the trailer, this looked like a ready to be canceled TV show.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that trailer did not make it look good to me.
But that cast, I'm like,
yes.
How can that cast not be funny? Like in Blockbuster, nostalgia, like we grew up on this. It had all the tools there. It had all the fucking ingredients
Hard to fuck it up. Hard to fuck it up.
Yeah.
Hard to fuck it up. Yeah. Like somehow they started off they had all the ingredients to make a really good like grilled cheese, and they end up with salty oatmeal. It's like, how the fuck did that even happen?
How do you fuck up cereal? Yeah. I get it.
I think it goes to show that Vanessa Ramos maybe wasn't a head writer on Brooklyn Nine-Nine or those other shows.
She wasn't.
Yeah. So there's a big difference from being a part of the writing room and leading the writing room.
But with that, just you guys' opinion, because that popped up to me. The fact this is 10 episodes. She only wrote for 3 episodes in this, but there was like 8, 9 writers for 10 episodes. So it was like, do you think that may affect?
But she's still the showrunner. She's the showrunner. She's the leader.
Yeah.
She's leading this ship. She's looking at those scripts and be like, this is good stuff, guys. This is
hey, okay.
Yeah.
This is the top pick of the week. Yeah. I'm quitting it hard, man. It's no, that's not for me. I'm pretty sure that it probably won't see a season 2. I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't wish it bad on anybody. I will hope everybody have jobs. I hope there's a season 2. I just personally don't see it happening. So,
I mean, I agree. I feel that while it also was not a quality show, I feel Space Force was funnier than this, and that got canceled.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, again, was Space Force on Netflix? I think it was on another platform, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
No,
it was on
Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then all right. Probably is, but okay. Thank you everybody for watching another bonus episode of Not a Strong Start. Please like, subscribe, comment, share everything on YouTube at Not a Strong Start. You can listen to us on anywhere you listen to your podcast. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, Not a Strong Start. I'm your host, Daniel De Sangre. You can follow me at King_Sangre.
I'm Jose, just quit it, Ramos, and you can find me at This Is Mi Nombre.
Just like your mama named you.
And I am Jorge Marrero. I am Nicolopoulos. Follow me at Instagram, Twitter. I might post stuff. I might not. We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll all find out together.
Yeah.
But and that. Thanks, guys.